All eyes are on Donald Trump's next move now that the U.S. Electoral College has confirmed Joe Biden as president-elect. Mr. Biden has urged Americans to turn the page after a tumultuous year. He's also called out Mr. Trump for abusing his power and refusing to respect the rule of law.
The Trump campaign brought dozens and dozens and dozens of legal challenges to test the result. They were heard again and again. And each of the times they were heard, they were found to be without merit. You know, in this battle for the soul of America, democracy prevailed. We, the people, voted. Faith in our institutions held. The integrity of our elections remains intact.
Simon Marks joins us live from Washington, D.C. for more on this. Simon, can we say now that it is over with the Electoral College stating that it's given the go-ahead? Can the president still challenge this result?
Well, the president can challenge this result and shows every indication of continuing to do so. There is no sign of President Trump backing down in the face of that speech by Joe Biden, in which the president-elect really for the first time took the gloves off and was essentially pleading, not just with Donald Trump and Republicans up on Capitol Hill, to recognize his legitimacy conveyed by the Electoral College as it was yesterday, but also pleading more broadly with President Trump's Republican supporters to give his vision of bipartisan cooperation a chance to work in the interests of all Americans. There are, though, still opportunities for President Trump and some of his supporters to continue challenging this, of course, in the courts if they want to, where they've now notched up way more than 60 separate defeats in courtrooms all over the country. But also, there could be a challenge on January the 6th. That is the day when Vice President Mike Pence is due to preside over a joint session of Congress. It's the final act in this election, the moment at which Congress rubber stamps the Electoral College verdict, Joe Biden's victory in the Electoral College. And it's perfectly possible, indeed, I think at the moment inevitable, that at least some Republicans in Congress will stand up on January the 6th and seek to launch some kind of last-minute, very, very low-chance challenge to that move by Congress.
Well, aside from those who are still going to, stand up for Mr. Trump, most Republicans that have stood by him, can they afford to remain silent?
Well, there are many Republicans, I tell you, that haven't even remained silent. I mean, we've seen 126 Republicans in the House of Representatives sign on to that entirely futile attempt last week to get the Supreme Court to intervene and overturn the results of the election, which the Supreme Court peremptorily rejected. So Republicans, many of them on Capitol Hill, have actually voted with their feet, publicly backing President Donald Trump. Even now, Joe Biden says that several senior Republican senators reached out to him yesterday privately to offer their congratulations, to indicate that they are willing to explore ways of working with him, particularly, he said, on the issues of the U.S. relationship with China, going to be a massive foreign policy issue at the front of Joe Biden's burner from January the 20th, and also on the issue of infrastructure expenditure here in the United States. But most of those Republicans have remained silent about whether they are formally recognizing Joe Biden now as the president-elect. So there's no question the pressure is building on them as questions continue to rise here over whether Donald Trump is ever going to concede defeat and ever tell the public that Joe Biden is going to be a legitimate president of the United States.